Good, wonderful evening, everyone. Wonderful evening. I have my hair, as you can see, wrapped because I'm almost in the bed. Like, something has been going on with my allergies today. So if you see me blink really hard, it's probably because my eyes, these contacts need to be out. But wanted to get on really quick because I was listening to get out my water. I was listening to a podcast this week, and normally I don't click on that podcast because I don't even know why it's still showing on my feed, but it said lessons learn from divorce. It was a podcast from about for divorced women. It's called Moms Moving On, and it just talks about, if you divorced and stuff like that, just, how to move forward from, the trauma of divorce or, whatever may happen to you. So, I end up playing it earlier this week, and it dawned on me, and I think I shared it like in a story of mine earlier this week, but I just wanted to kind of say this because I don't really talk about dating. I just kind of, see where things go. I'm not an expert in dating. I am an expert at being single. I can tell you that much, but I'm not really an expert at dating. I'll just know when it's time. I'll know when it's the one, things of that. I just don't like to speak on it. I think a lot of people speak on it, and sometimes speak on it too much, that we lose focus of cultivating our relationship with God. But anyway, I was listening to it, and she said something that was very profound. It was saying that, she was saying, the guest speaker was saying how, my ex-husband wanted us to stay where we were. Like, so he wanted us to stay like how they was when they were dating, that he didn't want anything to change. Whereas me, I wanted us to grow. I wanted us to kind of grow together and, evolve together as a couple. And I think there is a saying that says, girls get married in hopes they will change. Men get married in hopes they won't change. And I was like, wow, that was just... And how true that is in different perspectives and different mindsets. And it's a conflicting area where, you hear people, and I get it, you hear people where you say, well, what captured me, this is what captured me. And I want us to continue to do things. So let's not veer off. Let's go back to, the dating phase. Let's go back to what I did to capture you, what you did to capture me in the beginning. But I see it on the other hand too, is that as a person who is, number one, evolving individually, and maturing, because we're all doing that until really, kind of the day we die. And, as a, now in a marriage, you have, it to where, you're thinking like we should evolve as a married couple. And that's in my mind too. I'm like, that's, kind of what I want. And so when you're dating, it's, you're now at this bottom level, right? So you're now at this bottom level because you're like, okay, if I end up, dating someone, dating multiple people, whatever your preference is, once I find a person that I want to be in a relationship with, it's now time to, think about, moving things up. And then in the back of your mind, you're like, is this person going to want to grow with me? And we say the phrase, I want someone that I can grow old with, but the key word of that sentence is grow. And so I kind of, was taken by that because as a woman who is single, and however you're in your single status, if you've never been married, if you've been married and divorced, if you've widowed, you definitely want someone that you can grow with. That's my opinion. Now, there are people that just want to stay the same, and this is their peak, and they're like right here. But I believe, and as couples, there are many things besides ministering to the younger married people. You have a purpose in that marriage outside of marriage, basically. So you have to see what that person and how you're going to compliment that person moving forward in life, how they're going to compliment you, and how y'all together are going to grow. And so that's exactly what a lot of women need. A lot of women. I know I am one of a lot of women, because growing with someone is maneuvering through a stage where you was a baby, you got through the infant stage, you're trying to walk, you fell down, you got back up. But then you're 5 years and 10 years, 5 years, you headed to school, 10 years, almost to your teens. And so growing is a part of any natural process. Like, we don't stay dormant. We don't stay 20. We don't stay 21 years old, okay? Because I'm in my 30s. And what I didn't know then, what I didn't know when I was 30, what I didn't know last year, because I'm forever growing. And that's what you ultimately want, someone that you can grow with. And unfortunately, the part that you just don't know is if that person is going to actually grow with you, or are they saying the things that you want to hear. Oh yeah, babe, I see this and this and this, but in the back of their mind, this is how they're going to be for the rest of their life. You never know a person's motive. You have to trust God. And one of the things that, I pray for is that, God, whoever it is, even going through my dating phase, whoever it is, allow them to have a heart that is still teachable. If it's 40, if it's 50, if it's 60, to have a heart that is still teachable and open to new things, open to new possibilities. And for my heart to also be teachable and open to new things and growing together. When, you have a spouse that, 2 years, 5 years in, and, you're like, okay, we've been here for a very long time and we should not be here. We should not be going around the same rodeo for years. We should not be going around the same rodeo for years. That means there's a maturity level, there's a conflict of the maturity level. One person wants to stay and the other person wants to grow, or both want to grow and just don't know how. So I just thought it was just really, really, really interesting of the phrase that we use, growing old, is because that's what you're doing now. Like you say, I'm a grown woman, I'm a grown man, and I'm grown, but you're really literally starting over when you get married. And now that you're an infant in this new infrastructure of your life, and you have to start growing. Growing is uncomfortable. Growing takes you out of your comfort zone. Sometimes the meshing of two souls takes you out of your comfort zone. Not to mention blended families, and if he got kids, if you have kids, that's a whole feat in itself. Trust me, I know. And so now you're in this infant stage again, and you have to be set on growing with this particular person. And if you're not, and if you go into this marriage like, I'm gonna stay the way I am because I'm perfect, you you may not make it. You may not. And I'm serious about that. Like, if you go into a relationship, if you go into a marriage and you're saying all of the issues are on that person and nothing's wrong with me, that's a problem in itself. Because we all have something to work on. We all have something to work on. And now I have something to work on. He got something to work on. And now we come together. And so I'm still working on my stuff, but we're also working on our stuff. That's a part of growing. And so I just wanted to kind of share that because, it's easy to get caught up in the, butterflies and stuff. And everybody loves that stage. Like, I love it. When you butterfly in and you like, oh, I really like him. And, you think about him and you texting him and, all of that good stuff. And it's good. Like, that's the new phase. And then when you get married, it's the honeymoon stage and stuff like that. But then reality sets in sooner or later. Reality is going to set in, and it's going to be like, it's going to knock at your door and be like, okay, so what are y'all doing? And one thing that I want to do, or one thing that I believe that marriage is that you have a ministry with the two of you, whatever it is, whatever your ministry is, whatever God placed on your hearts to whatever cause or stuff like that, for y'all, that's what I know and think that marriage is, and so people go into marriage, and sometimes I believe that we just go into it just like, hey, we here. I'm a divorcee, so I have like a little bit of knowledge, and I allow, like, people get bitter after divorce, but I've allowed it to kind of shape me into who I am today. And it's going on 3 years, and I allowed it to teach me a lot of things about what I want, things about myself, things that what is ultimately important to me. And so growing in a marriage is definitely one of them. So that's just my thoughts. I hope everybody has a great night or a great day whenever you listen, and just let me know like what you think about that, and what do you think about like the maturity in your marriage, and how growing is going to, what your thoughts on growing in a marriage is. So just let me know. All right. Bye.